What up everyone, it's your boy, FJ. Today's video is about something I know so well. I'm like a connoisseur, I'm like a sommelier when it comes to this stuff, anxiety. My first forays into self-help and self-development were because I was so anxious that I couldn't stand it anymore. And I discovered some of the big ones out there, you know, Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. And I loved that because it was like, yes, if I can just train myself to be in the now, then I will not feel anxious anymore. And there's something to that. We overdo it a bit, I think, when we're thinking about the future a lot. We take what would be like a normal anxiety and we blow it up to be like the worst thing that ever happened, like nuclear disaster size anxiety. It's not good to be in that overblown state of anxiety, but there's no way that you're ever going to get rid of anxiety. It's always going to be there, and that's a good thing. That's what this video is about. Anxiety is trying to teach you something. It's trying to show you something. And I was trying to use these self-help things about anxiety in such a way where I could just ignore all that. I was looking for a roundabout way of getting past my problems and more like suppressing the anxiety and sort of just forgetting about the things that were worrying me. It's a difficult line to walk because in many ways, let's get real, folks, we worry about some stupid stuff. I've talked about this before on the channel. When I was a kid in like first grade, I was riding the bus home from school for the first time. And I threw up literally every day because I got so anxious about missing the bus. And then once I got over that, a couple years later, and my brother was going to school, I threw up every day because I was worried that he would miss the bus because he's too dumb to find the bus on his own. So yeah, there are things that you should let's try to simmer down on some of the anxiety here, but you're going to find at a certain point, you'll reach a bottom, a bedrock of anxiety that you can't go below. And that is okay, and in some ways it's a good thing. It's a good teacher. Anxiety really comes down to a couple of things, if I may oversimplify. It comes down to control and feeling that we don't have it, and related to that, but it's not quite the same thing, is a fear of the unknown. In some ways, the lesson to be learned is like more of an existential one that isn't going to be very fun to hear or for me to tell you about. And it's one that I am continually learning and I'm constantly horrified by. But it is the simple fact that we have way less control over our lives than we think we do. You know, I've got an apartment. It's nice. I've got some money coming in. I work for a living. I work for the man. You know what I mean? I've got a cool YouTube channel going on. How much of what it took for these things to happen did I have any part in? Not that much, really. When you think of just like the basic structures of society and the industries that we benefit from, I had nothing to do with it. We rely a lot on the rest of humanity that has come before us and is around us now, the infrastructure of modern society, technology, so on and so forth. We are very much dependent on it, and we don't often like to recognize that. That can be a great source of anxiety when we first come across it, when we first allow ourselves to see it. And the thing to learn there is really that simple fact that we have very little control. It's one of those things, I think, that once you can really full-on face that and just let yourself feel the overwhelming anxiety and dread of it, you can get past it. Sometimes we feel anxiety because there's a truth just over here that we don't want to look at, and we can see it out of the corner of our eye, and we're like, oh man, I know that's not good. I don't even want to look there, but I'm worried because one day I might accidentally look over and be like, oh my gosh, that thing I didn't want to acknowledge is there. Before we continue, let's support this channel and see if YouTube would like to show a commercial. So that's the more dreadful life lesson to learn, but I think the other part of it, which is a bit more uplifting, and also it's also existential, I guess, because when you look at the existentialists, they were all about, isn't that what existential anxiety is all about? The realization that you can choose to do whatever, and it's too much power. A lot of times when we are in anxious situations that we are looping on. Not the big, huge ones like, I might lose my job and I have no control over it, but which is, I wish I could help you there. But sometimes it's more anxiety inducing when you realize I have control over this thing. There's a decision I need to make. There's a path I've got to go down or at least look down, and I don't want to do it because the responsibility is all on me. When I was first getting into self-help and I was feeling anxious, and I'm talking like really anxious, like keeping myself up at night with it, it was about a relationship. The relationship wasn't even bad, but it was just one of those feelings you get, you just know this isn't the one. And I hated that, and I didn't want to have to face that decision of exerting that control over the situation and then facing the unknown afterwards of like, what is the result going to be? Even though now I say it wasn't the right relationship, at the time that was not something that I consciously was really thinking. I thought maybe it's not the right one, but that was the anxiety. I was like, there's all these things, this doesn't seem right, but maybe it is right. I just don't know. And I kept obsessing over these thoughts, and that was when I was trying to just suppress it and be like, if I just stop thinking, if I just do like Eckhart says and stop thinking and just be in the now, then I can just keep doing this. I can stay in this relationship. It'll be great. That's not what he's advocating, I don't think, but it's easy when you're looking for ways to manipulatively reach your ends. If you're trying to solve a situation without really solving it, if you're trying to get rid of your anxiety by not facing the thing that the anxiety is trying to tell you, then those teachings are very attractive because you can trick yourself into thinking that it's just teaching you to don't worry. Don't worry about anything. Just keep going. When you have that spark of anxiety, and especially when you can't let go of it, the reason that you keep looping around on it is because there's a point in the loop where naturally you should be making a decision, but then you don't. And so it just keeps going. And it kind of spirals out of control after a while because you start to become anxious about the anxiety. And you're like, is this just going to get worse? Oh crap, this isn't going away. Eckhart lied to me, man. And the anxiety is leading you. When you feel more anxious, when you think about going a certain direction, perhaps that is the direction you should be going in. Not always. That's not a rule. When you're thinking about, am I getting blown out now with the sun coming out? When there's a direction that you think about that you could go down and you feel anxious, it's your body trying to tell you there's something there that you don't want to face. It might just be that you don't want to face the unknown. You don't want to have a change in the status quo. But it could also be that there's a truth there that you have been ignoring. You don't want to see it. The anxiety is trying to help you not lie to yourself anymore. When you're feeling anxious, in some ways, perhaps you are lying to yourself. You're telling yourself there's no problem and I don't need to face it, or the action doesn't need to be taken right now. Now, on the positive side, once you start to go towards the anxiety, what I've found is that always it goes away. It feels like it's going to get worse, and maybe at first it does, as you take that step into the unknown. But the thing is, as you go into the unknown, it becomes the known. And there's much less anxiety surrounding it. When you change the status quo, there's always going to be discomfort. When you make changes, you make hard decisions, there's always discomfort. When you allow yourself to see truths that you didn't want to see because they were inconvenient, as Al Gore might say, it may bring up other issues, but the anxiety is not going to get worse because suddenly you faced it. Think about, what is it that I'm afraid to face? What is the thing that I'm not going through with? And realize that the anxiety isn't going to go away until I face it, until I go through with it. Sometimes it's something as simple as I'm just scared to have a conversation about something. I'm just scared to realize that what I thought was true might not be true. Allow yourself to go into it. That's really what it is. Anxiety gets dispelled with the truth and with the courage to go into the unknown. That's about it from me. Thanks for watching. Check out some other videos over here. If you want a funny one, check out my playlist of funny stuff, but I'm sure you've seen it already. Just watch it again, okay? Smash like, subscribe if you haven't already. Till next time. stay cool and attractive.